Big questions that we're interested in involve understanding how animals work. I was trained as a neurobiologist, so my primary interest is in understanding how brains function, but I'm really interested in behavior at a more general level. How is it that brains can regulate a transformation from sensory input of the world, transform those signals into some adaptive motor output that can guide you through space, or that can guide any animal through complex landscapes. So I'm really interested in understanding how sensory signals are transformed into motor signals for behaving animals. The application of the work that we do, I see, has sort of two major thrusts. One in the near term is certainly basic research. Look, I make my living gluing flies to sticks and flying them in little virtual reality flight simulators, for example. That's not going to have an immediate impact on human health. It does have an immediate emerging impact on what we call neurorobotics or neuromorphic engineering. In other words, using biological principles to inspire the engineering of new devices, such as artificial vision systems. Fly vision is extremely fast, it's extremely efficient. And if we can reveal the algorithms and neural circuits by which fly vision works, we can apply those to the engineering of autonomous vehicles that can fly around through rooms and such without crashing into things. The second application is more human health related, but it's in the longer term. And for example, motion vision, which I've talked about a lot, it's not the only thing the lab does, but motion vision is remarkably conserved between humans and flies, more so than you might like to want to admit. Your brain computes motion, at least in a mathematical sense, in a way that is indistinguishable from the way flies compute visual motion. We can learn a lot about, for example, how our own visual systems identify and track objects through complex landscapes by studying flies, because flies do this regularly, and they do it a lot better than we do. So this is an instance where flies actually greatly outperform humans, but the computations for tracking visual features are going to be conserved, the algorithms are going to be conserved, the circuits are going to look different, but they're going to make the same kinds of computations. And so some of the work that we do will have general impact toward understanding how human brains work, and therefore, by extension, how they might fail. The way I see life science having progressed in the last 10 years is primarily due to this technological explosion. The technology has evolved so fast in just the last 15 years. It's just mind-boggling how far we've come between the time I did my master's degree on a Macintosh SE30 with a screen this big to now where my phone has more computational power than any computer I ever used in graduate school. So the technology has evolved very fast. I see that as having forced ever-increasing specialization among researchers, which you would think would have the result of making us sort of more myopic. But in fact, it's been just the opposite. Science is a social enterprise. We talk to each other. Yes, we're very specialized with what we do, but we go to each other's seminars or we bump into each other in the hallway. We go to meetings, we see new technology, and we think to ourselves, I didn't even know you could do that. I'm going to take that optical tweezers and try something in my own lab. Or I'm going to take that that sequencing technique and try that on my own animal. And you wind up asking questions that you never thought were possible before. So it actually, instead of making us more myopic, it expands our view even broader. The new Terasaki Life Sciences building is just spectacular. We've moved in about a month ago now, and everybody in the lab is energized. So having new space is really terrific, but the space is optimized for what we do. The facilities are designed to maximally release our creativity. We have the space is configured correctly. We have interactions with our neighbors, which is going to be terrific. We didn't have that before. The open lab space is facilitating interactions among colleagues that wouldn't have existed before. The physical environment is just so much improved from where we were before that I just think it's simply inspirational to be there.